Well, hey everybody, this is Steve, 1,000 Year Home. It's the next day of my insulation wrap. Listen, it's already 94 during the day, a couple of weeks away from summer. Oh my gosh, this heat is just murder. So I'm working nights in order to not die. So I'm starting later in the evening. So yesterday what I got done was the corner. I've got all the insulation in. I wanted to see if it stayed put. It does stay put. So that makes me feel good. So now what I'll do is I'll put the furring strips in here where I can insulate in here. And obviously if the heat is 94, I want more insulation than less, right? Because that's what I'll be fighting in these hot boxes. I'm going to wrap them in Hyper Adobe, which will give me 800,000 BTU value of steady state. So once I get that wrapped and then I turn on air conditioning in here, I'm expecting it to stay reasonably cool without a lot of energy costs. We shall see. I'm using solar. If I got plenty of roof, I can add some more if I need to. We'll find out. But let's go ahead and get this side done today in the furring strips. And if I get time, then I'll do that side. And while I hate getting insulation all over me, there's a possibility that I'll even do the insulation. We'll see. So in the furring strips, of course, some of the smaller sections, are almost 16 on center. But overall, I've tried to design this to either be 16 on center or 24 on center. The conduit as well as the furring strips, and you'll notice that furring strip isn't really a furring strip at all. It's a full 2x4x8. Again, I am using ground contact treated timber inside the house in order to beat the 1,000-year requirement that I put upon this build, and I know that will be resistant to moisture as well as the Formosan termite when it gets here. And of course, it's not munchable. Nothing likes to munch on that. So overall, I'm trying to make this house completely insect and vermin proof, which will greatly improve the sustainability of the house as a whole. Now, as we go through, you'll notice that I am measuring to make sure the bats go in safe and firm, because an important component of the bats functioning properly is that they do seal through compression. The bats themselves from Mineral Wool, and I'll talk about that later in this presence, but don't have any vapor seal. So for me, I'm using what's called InfraStop. It's the shiny aluminum foil, this material that you'll see there, which is bubble wrap sandwiched between two layers of aluminum foil. And my gosh, in my testing, it would reduce the heat inside the building by up to 60 degrees compared to the outside skin. And that also dropped the dew point, so I didn't have any container moisture. I did a recent video on that, but it's a huge win. In addition, it comes in 4-foot by 100-foot rolls for me, which were easy to handle, and I could strip that out and hang it in any format. So it's on the roof, it's on the walls. Eventually, maybe I'll put it underneath. I haven't decided if I'm going to do radiant heat for the floors or not. Texas doesn't get that cold for that long. We have some 20-degree Fahrenheit days. I've seen 0 degrees touch once. But mostly it's 20 degrees to 32 when it is coldest, and warmer than that year-round for Central Texas. The problem with the container here that I'm working on is these 2x4s that I'm using for furring strips come in 8-foot sections, but the container itself is 9'6". So there's a little extra room that I'm using. If you take a look at the roof rafters, you'll see that I'm using that extra room for can lights and ceiling fans, as well as additional batting that I'll put up in there. And that whole structure is designed to contain a cedar. The cedar is designed to hold a concrete roof, which will add additional thermal mass. But inside the house, I want to keep the AC in and the heat in, as well as control the dew point inside the house, which I'll be doing with a dehumidifier or a condenser, an atmospheric condenser that'll make water. So basically, I'll be doing 3 to 7 gallons of water a day right from the air. So I'm putting my well in the sky, and I'll let you know how good that's going to do. Of course, I'll have UV on it and filtering and all of the necessities to be able to avoid legionnaires or anything like that. Where I know that I want good support down the middle of the Connex, I am using the full 2x4. I cut a little notch around any junction box, and so that I can use the 2x4 to support the junction box, adding an additional layer of rigidity to the electrical system as I'm working there. So I feel good about the furring strip process. I did notice I used my nail gun to put a lot of these furring strips in. So during quality check, I'm finding that some of them need additional screws, and I'm using stainless steel 304 screws to secure all that. Listen, this thing's pretty tight, and once I put 5/8 inch drywall on it, it's going to be extremely tight. And if I'd put 2 layers of 5/8 inch drywall, it would be awfully quiet inside of here. But listen, I'm not going to go overboard on the inside. Every little inch inside this is at a premium, which is one reason why I recessed the walls into the cedar post, and I'm showing the cedar post, and I'm not using just 2x4s all the way around. I need to support the roof while I'm pouring concrete. And so I'm going to do that permanently with this Spanish Mission Vibe. And I think I nailed the Spanish Mission Vibe. Now, I haven't put up the drywall and marbleized it, but I'll do that too. Well, I have to be honest with y'all. The mosquitoes are eating me alive. They're just, I either have to do this in the day when it's 1,000,000 degrees, or I got skin so soft that'll knock them out of the sky. But they're so thick after all of this rain. It's just, they're everywhere. And they're driving me crazy. You can't cut, you can't work because you got things biting you and buzzing you. Just really something. So if it's not one thing, it's another. I do like this skin so soft. It knocks them right out of the sky. It's a friendly thing. If I get it on me, I don't feel like I'm giving myself cancer. I don't know. All right, so I got all of the furring strips in there. I'm going to have to cut a little extra piece to put, to make up the distance. I'm also working on securing any of the conduit. If a board's coming near it and I could just double up a board, I'm going to do that and then screw it all together so the conduit is super firm. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one. So I don't know how well I'm doing. I'm dying of heat here. So all right, so the one behind me is done. The one in the corner's done. Those are all in. So let's get this one done and that one done, and we'll call it a night. And I'll just keep fighting these mosquitoes. They're just awful. Just awful. I don't even know how good these videos will be. I haven't shot at night before that I can remember, so. Anybody else left? Yeah. Shee. Did I get everybody? Anybody left to torture me? Wow. Just so hard. Sweet, sweet Texas. I don't know how pioneers did it. I could not imagine. This would have been brutal. right. Fighting those mosquitoes. Whoo, look at me, I'm dripping wet. Man, this is just hard work. Nothing but hard work. Alright. Let's see if we can get this all done tonight. Full 8-hour day. Burning heat. Like biblical plagues. Only it's called Texas. Right. Well. Oh, well, that's good. Just needs a board. My back's against the wall. Mosquitoes to the left of me. Mosquitoes to the right. Ah! It really is that bad. All right, let's try to get this done. Last bracing. I think I'll put up the insulation tonight too. I'm dirty and sweaty already. It just feels like I should be committed to all of this difficulty. Well, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and set all the depths of the boxes at 5/8. Put a screw in them so they stay. We'll call that a day. There we go. Yay! I tell you, I'm already pretty tired from the thing. You've been stop motioning and not watching me do all of this. The mosquitoes are tearing me up. I've decided to go ahead and put the insulation in here. I wish I had 24-inch wide insulation. All mine is 16. So 24 would have been better for my build. They didn't have it in stock. The only thing they had was 16. So here I am, working with what I have. I mean, I know COVID is still around, but people have forgotten how to build. You know what I mean? Maybe people don't insulate on 24 inch. I don't know. So I'm going to have to cut some of this down. So the way I've compromised this is, rather than a bunch of smaller spaces, I've got a 16-inch space, and then I have a 24-inch space. And where the walls are narrower than that, of course, I'm going to have to cut the 16 and or the 24 to match. So you'll notice that I'm making a snug fit so that it has, you know, good resistance. Now that piece I cut wrong, so I've decided to move it. And I put it someplace where it's got a tighter fit. You want it to grip into the boards. You want to follow the manufacturer recommendations. So you don't want it compressed, but you want it to be snug and you want it to grip there. And you'll notice that I'm actually tearing these down in half, and that's because they're 3.5 inch thick. But I am working on this in a 1.5 inch thick environment. So sometimes I tear them down in half, and then I get a twofer, and I did this. So my going with the mineral wool as opposed to fiberglass. Now fiberglass, my experience is I run into fiberglass, and when it gets wet, it's just a soppy, wet mess. But mineral wool doesn't hold water, and in fact, it's hygroscopic. So here where I'm trying to push water vapor away from the walls, the mineral wool is a much better choice for me to be able to do this. And you'll see that I'm using various pieces together. It also has a greater rigidity to me than a fiberglass bat, which is very floppy, just a blanket, right? Which is okay if I'd have standard studs and I'd be stapling the vapor barrier on that, but I'm not doing that kind of structure, so this mineral wool is perfect for that. The last and very important thing for me that was part of my consideration is I'm in the heartbeat of what is the fire zone for Texas. Some of the largest wildfires in Texas have been in my county. So mineral wool melts at 2,900. It's just basalt rock that's been turned into spun fibers and then put together in a bat. So it gives me an extreme amount of water, of fire resistance, and I'm trying to make this house fireproof, including ember storms and everything that goes with it. So now I'm not right now. It's not clear cut around, and I definitely have understory that would walk big flames up into the trees. But the mineral wool factors into this house being able to withstand a fire. And I'm thinking of putting a fire filter on it so that there could be air if I get caught in here, etc., etc. But the mineral wools, it's more rigid. Now, it costs 25% more, but for me, that's money well spent. These are only 40 by 8, and I just want the higher performance of a mineral wool as opposed to fiberglass. And I'm getting it. I just wish I could find 24-inch bats. I'm having a problem getting them. Oh man, I do need 24 inch. Alright, so this is Steve, 1,000-Year Home. So today I didn't get a window of opportunity to even work in the Connex because I wanted to get 24-inch mineral wool bats. And I'm telling you, the world has really changed. So, you know, these are little 15-inch bats, what fit most of the openings. I thought, oh, wouldn't it be convenient to have the 24-inch bats? That's 22 inches on most of those, so it is fit just straight in there. They have 23-inch bats. And first place I called, and I said, I don't want fiberglass, I want mineral. Oh, we got them, come on by. And so I drove way out of my way, and of course they weren't mineral wool. And then I had to educate a lumber store clerk on what the difference is. So listen, this stuff is not glass, right? This is minerals. It's stone that's been spun into fiberglass. So it's heavier, so the dust settles faster, so it's not as itchy. You don't have as many respiration risks. It's fire resistant, fireproof, right? It's mold proof, right? It's just a superior product. And most importantly for a guy like me, because it's dense, it has way more sound deadening capability than the fiberglass. So anyway, so then since I was out anyway on a fool's errand to a lumber yard, I went then to the next big town called Bastrop to see if they had any 24-inch bats. They did not have any 24-inch bats either. So it got to the point where, you know, and right in here, you know, that would be perfect for a 24-inch bat. So I found that I could special order them. And it goes from about $1.38 a square foot for insulation to $2.20 for an extra. These are 15-inch, an extra 10-inch per bat. I could cut one of the 15 inches down, still have a 5-inch strip, use it on the next one, and it's just way cheaper. So, you know, that's where I'm at. I did see one device that I liked, and they were spring steel rods that you could put between 24-inch rafters, and it'll support the insulation up there while you're working it. So that's going to be some of my solution to this. But indeed, I wasn't able, and I drove all day long, and I wasn't able to find the insulation that I wanted. I'm back on the ranch late at night. I'm already washed and shaved up, and so no work tonight at night. I'm just going to take it easy. And what a disappointment. And I tell you, I don't like going to a lumber yard and having to teach the people who should be specialists. This is the second time I've had the other one was I wanted Western cedar, and I show up there and it's everything but. And then I have to teach somebody at a lumber yard about wood types. This, you know, yellow pine is not Western cedar, you know, so, you know, no, you don't have the boards. And, but anyway, this is what it'll be like for you too if you build. I still encourage it. I'm just watching my money, and in these situations, I'm going to make do rather than pay for the 24-inch bats that I can't get anyway for 3 weeks. I'm just going to continue with the 15-inch bats, what I can find. And they're cheaper, and just cut them in half and put them up there with some kind of a tie in between them. I don't know. Maybe I'll use strings or something. But I like the little metal rods. I have flags that I've used in the ground, and I'm going to see if those are strong enough to hold that up while I work on this. So, and also I found the fittings that I need to put in the Romex for the ceiling lights. So I'm going to go ahead and run the ceiling lights before I put insulation up to avoid getting insulation in my face while I'm working. So anyway, this is Steve. I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this video now. Like, subscribe, follow me along. I appreciate everybody who's joins me, and I hope that you are getting something out of this watching, even if it just helps you sleep at night. I'm grateful to have you along. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.